We are now on number 2 on page 26. We have 3 different figures that show us that figure 1 has 3 boxes, figure 2 has a total of 6 boxes, figure 3 has a total of 9 boxes. It says, which equation best represents the constant rate of change shown in the pattern between the figure f and the number of squares s? Then it gives us different options of formulas that will let us know whether or not this pictorial fits one of these formulas. Let's go to our scratch paper here. What I've done is set up on my scratch paper a chart that corresponds with what I saw on my original sheet. I again stated that f equals the figure number. I again stated that s equals the number of squares. And then I set up a chart that shows me that f and s are my 2 columns. And I showed how figure 1 has 3 squares. Figure 2 has 2 squares. Figure 2 has 6 squares. Figure 3 has 9 squares. And now I'm going to test each formula that's shown. So on my scratch paper, I have written the first formula given on answer F, which is F equals S plus 3. I took the value from my chart on row 1 to plug in those values into my formula. F is 1 from right there equals my S here on row 1 is 3. Then I completed my formula plus 3 from right here. I solved and said 1 equals 3 plus 3, which is 6. Well, as you can clearly see, 1 does not equal 6. That could not be my answer. I went on to G. The formula given was S equals 3F. Let's test this formula and see if it's accurate. My value from my chart is 3 for S. Then I have 3 times my F, which on row 1 is 1. 3 equals 3 times 1 is 3. This is a proportional relationship. This is accurate. So I tested that formula with the second row. The same formula given, S equals 3F. I plugged in my value for my second row. 6 is my S. Equals 3 times F is 2. 6, when I solve, equals 3 times 2, which is 6. It checks out. Let's keep going. Let's test the third row. S equals 3F is the same formula we used before to test. So let's see if it holds true. S equals 9. And we set that equal to 3 times. The other 3 came from our F here. When plugged into our formula and solved, we get 9 equals 3 times 3, which is 9. Therefore, G is our answer. But because we're given various formulas, we need to test them all. Let's quickly test H. It says F equals 3S. When I plug in my values from my first row, I get F equals 1. And then equals 3 times my S here is 3. When I solve, I get 1 equals 9. 1 does not equal 9. H could not be my answer. J is the final one I need to test. J says S equals F plus 3. S here is 3 equals 1 plus 3. When I substitute my value for F, I solve and see that 3 equals 1 plus 3, which is 4. That is not accurate. J is not my answer. So I have arrived at the conclusion that G is the solution because the number of squares equals 3 times the figure number. Well done.